He is a football legend, a name still spoken in awe. But how did Dixie Dean rise from the streets of Birkenhead to become one of the greatest centre forwards of all time? It all began on January the 22nd, 1907 at 313 Lerd Street, Birkenhead. The exact location of his birthplace may be uncertain, but with period maps and surviving street numbers, we can pinpoint it to where this petrol station now stands. Just behind it, Dean's Way remains a small tribute to his legacy. Before the petrol station, a Methodist chapel occupied this very spot, a reminder of the history that once stood here. Dean's childhood was shaped by the struggles of World War I, but by the age of 7 he was involved in the war effort, going to a farm to collect milk for local families. He later recalled,
"Well, it was wartime, you see, so you were grafting all the time. I used to take milk out. I'd be up at 4:30 in the morning, get the ponies and milk floats, and head to Burgess Farm at Wirral Park."
But football was never far from his mind. He attended Lerd Street School, now Portland Primary, though he famously admitted,
"My only lesson was football."
At just 11 years old, Dean was sent to the Albert Memorial Industrial School at Borstal. It was located just here off Corporation Road. With little space at home, this was a common practice at the time. Dean embraced the challenge, even telling his classmates he had been caught stealing just to fit in. But the real reason he was happy to be there, the school had a football team. The earliest image of Dixie in a football kit, playing for Birkenhead Boys Club. By 14, Dean left school and followed his father's footsteps, working at Wirral Railways as an apprentice fitter. His father had worked on the Great Western Railway before moving to Birkenhead to be closer to Dean's mother, Sarah. But for young Dixie, football remained the true priority. Determined to play as much as possible, he took the night shift that other apprentices avoided. He later revealed why.
"The other 2 apprentice fitters, they didn't like the night job, too many bloody rats. Rats as big as whippets, coming out of the Anglo Oil Company. So I took the night job, and of course, I could always have a game of football then."
In fact, this Merseyrail car park was once a football field, no doubt where Dixie went out and honed his skills against countless opposition. Just to give an idea of some distances, just over the bridge up there is where his house was over the railway line. Just here is the depot that he worked at. And down the end of this road here, on the right hand side, is that Anglo Oil Company that he talked about. And just opposite the depot is this now Merseyrail car park, which was a football field, as we saw on those maps. That's how close all of these places were in Dixie Dean's life. On this map about that time, you can see the house that he grew up in, the Borstal School, and just the other side of the railway line was the railway depot and the football pitch. While working nights, Dean's talents caught the attention of the New Brighton directors, who wanted to sign him, but he turned him down, instead playing for Pensby United, where a Tranmere Rovers scout spotted him in 1922. Now this is Pensby FC on Fisher's Lane in Pensby. Now looking at old maps, this is the only definitive place where a football field could have been in Dixie's time over 100 years ago. So did Dixie score in this goal? And was this the place that a Tramia Rover scout saw him and signed him for the following season? At just 16, Dean broke into the Tranmere Rovers first team, and it took 2 seasons to really make a name for himself. In his second season, playing 27 games, scored 27 times. That's a goal per game. But it wasn't long before bigger clubs came calling. For most, 30 goals in a season would be an incredible feat, but for Dixie, it was just the beginning, because scoring came so naturally to him. And the club that called? Everton. In the 1927-28 season, a 21-year-old Dixie set the record that remains unmatched to this day. 60 goals in just 39 games for Everton. Over that calendar year, he netted an outstanding 85 goals in all competitions. Throughout his career, Dean found the back of the net 473 times in 502 appearances for club and country. Twice, he was the First Division's leading scorer, helping Everton to 2 league titles. Even when Everton were relegated, he stayed loyal, leading them to glory once again in 1932. On the international stage, Dean's brilliance was undeniable. 18 goals in 16 games for England. His career was tragically cut short by injuries and the outbreak of war. But in today's footballing world, one has to wonder, what would a player like Dixie be worth today? After Everton, his club football took him to Notts County. Then over to Ireland, where he played for Sligo Rovers, where he scored 10 in 7 games. He also had an Irish FA Cup runners-up medal stolen from this hotel. Returning to Ireland 39 years later to watch the 78 FA Cup final, he stayed at the same hotel, where a package arrived for him. His FA Cup runners-up medal. He is still considered a legend at the showgrounds. He ended his career at Hurst, now Ashton United, back in his home county of Cheshire, with 2 games and 1 goal before the outbreak of war ended his career. But he was a coach for some of the lads in his army barracks. He also became a Freemason. After retiring, he went on to run the Dublin Packet pub in Chester, and he did an interview here in 1957. Would he still think this about today's footballing defenders?
Tell me now, seeing as you're a man, I can ask your age. How old are you now?
50.
50?
Yes.
Jolly fit 52.
No, not bad at all.
Well, now, it's almost 30 seasons, or exactly 30 seasons, isn't it, since you put up your individual record?
It is 30.
60
Yes.
goals?
60 league goals and 84 altogether in the season. Cup ties, international matches.
My goodness me, that's some record.
Yes.
And it's never been surpassed. Is there
No.
any reason for that, do you think? Do you think that now centre forwards are marked more closely by the centre half than they were then?
No, I don't think they're good enough. As a matter of fact, the marking, I've had as many as 2 and 3 every time I've gone for the ball. So I don't think anybody was marked more so, and especially on my body and limbs and one or the other. But I can't say if they're more marked these days.
They really stuck to you like glue, did they?
They did, especially one in particular, that was Herbie Roberts, who of course they called the policeman afterwards. Although we played them at Highbury, 1928, 29. Herbie Roberts was told to, wherever I went, he was to follow me. Well, I realised what was happening and told my 2 inside forwards that the middle of the ground was open to them. They had a clear passage down the middle, and I'd take Roberts for a walk, which I did. I took him towards the players' entrance, so you come out onto the field, turned round to him, and Herbie said, where are you going now? I said, well, I'm going for a cup of tea. Are you coming? If you'd have seen old Tom Whittaker's face, it lit up.
Dixie Dean's reign began before the stopper centre-half was introduced. Indeed, he helped to bring about the third-back game. But no man-made system could stop Dixie, prince of centre-forwards.
And out of your many outstanding achievements, Billy, which would you count the real one? The one you remember most?
Oh, well, the 60th goal day. It was the last match of the league season.
And of course, George Campbell had got 59 the previous season, hadn't he?
Yes, 59 second division football. This, of course, was first. And
How many had you to get to beat him?
3 goals. I wanted a hat-trick.
Uh-huh.
At any rate, I got 2 goals early on, and there was about 4 minutes to go, and I managed to get this goal from a corner kick, and of course the crowd simply swarmed onto the ground, and one in particular had a load of whiskers on him, rubbing all over my face, and I was in a nice state.
Giving you a real continental kiss, eh?
Giving me a real do.
This is how the Everton thousands knew Dixie, the man who could score goals with a nod of his head. And yet few of them guessed that famous head held a silver plate, the result of a motor accident that nearly put Dean out of football before he ever began. Fortunately for Everton, for England and for football, Dixie Dean recovered to become the greatest centre-forward of all time.
In 1972, he was admitted here at St Catherine's Hospital. But by the late 70s, his health had deteriorated, and due to a blood clot, he had his leg amputated. Footballing legends have paid tribute to him.
When Dixie went up for the ball, he was almost unstoppable.
The greatest centre-forward the game has ever seen.
I think records mean everything. I think certainly sort of tally of medals and matches, and I think more so for goal scorers, isn't it? Because if you're talking nowadays about all the kind of players that there are, and they go, well, you know, what's his goal scoring record? And I think generally it's perceived if you get one goal in 2 games, you thought, yeah, you know, this fella's a good player. So I think when you compare those records to Dixie's records, it's absolutely phenomenal when you look at it. And also, if you think about it, I mean, the era in which he played in, you could batter, if you were the centre-half, you could batter the centre-forward for half an hour and get away with it. And you look at the boots, the clobber, the ball, for goodness sake, and I think, you know, things like his record, his goal-scoring record, just keeps going up and up and up in terms of appreciation of everybody.
Dixie Dean passed away at the age of 73 in March 1980 after watching Everton versus Liverpool at Goodison Park. In 2001, this statue was unveiled outside Goodison Park in his honour. But with Everton moving to a new stadium, Dixie's statue will remain here, a lasting tribute. Dixie Dean, the boy from the world, the boy from Birkenhead, the greatest centre-forward the world has ever seen.